Hey everybody, it's your boy Nerdicane here with X-Men Red #3, and I got a bunch of other comics here. It's new comic book day, so oh boy, the honeymoon is over with X-Men Red. Tom Taylor, the art's still pretty good in this. There's not a whole lot of backgrounds once again, but oh my god, this is like Cullen Bunn. It's just very bland. Um, it's just kind of meandering now. What else can I say? Nobody at Marvel knows how to write action anymore. Nobody does action anymore. I read something like Bonehead, and the fight sequences in Bonehead are very good, very well drawn out, very well planned out. These there's so many things in this book that could have been very cool and very interesting. They just stopped. They took a shortcut. They took their foot off the gas. Um, and Gambit is no exception. I think seeing the Gambit sequence was what made me go, okay, this guy's not going to do anything interesting with this character. It's going to be a very low T version. It's just going to be very boring. So here's the team. Namor still really hasn't shown up in this, so yeah, I've completely lost. I've lost interest. We start with, guess what? The X Mansion, which is oddly enough in Central Park. It's supposed to be secluded and out of the way, and it would probably be safer upstate New York. But once again, it's getting infiltrated for like the 6 billionth time. You'd think they would have a lot better security. You'd think, since Sentinels have mutant detectors, you would think that the X Mansion would have mutant detectors to check for just stuff just like this, breaking in and hiding themselves telepathically. Yeah, so once again, breaks in. Like right here. This. Hi, Little. Go on, you gotta get away. He's straight up gonna lay down on top of this comic if I let him. So she gets in, Cassandra Nova. And then this mutant, who we didn't even bother, I don't think we should even bother to name, they bothered to name him, can detect her, and basically says this, says, oh, you're Cassandra Nova. Wasn't this balloon, shouldn't it be attached to her? Or is he saying that she is afraid of Kitty? It just seems weird. This is just kind of out of the blue. I don't know if that was supposed to be her line or what. But yeah, it was basically just kills a kid and leaves him laying there. And basically this is a potion that they put in Storm. Okay, time out. I have a question. Cassandra Nova can control, as we saw in issue 1, can control a UN representative for a very long amount of time from a very long distance, basically making her do whatever she wants her to do and say whatever she wants her to say, but needs to break into the X Mansion and put a potion into Storm's head or ear or whatever. It's just, ugh. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, that's cool. They didn't. At least they didn't put Namor on this. They keep telling us that Namor is on this team and he just hasn't shown up. So, cut to the fight. This could have been a good fight, just like in the last issue. The whole heist, that was actually pretty cool. How they snuck into this facility to get Trinary out. It could have been really cool, but this fight also could have been really cool. It's just they ended it so quickly and so abruptly, and they ended it in a way that makes you go, why didn't you do that to begin with? So they're fighting the Sentinel, one Sentinel. Here she gives Kurt an impossible mission. Says, okay, teleport Wolverine up there. So now Kurt has to go find Wolverine and teleport him there, and then teleport him there. I know, I'm kidding. She says teleport this Wolverine X-23. And okay, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm gonna lay out my thoughts on this. Calling Laura X-23 Wolverine is insulting to Wolverine fans, because that's not Wolverine, and we don't have the history and the background of Wolverine, and it's also insulting to anyone who is a fan of X-23. Um, because X-23 was an established character, is a very likable character, very cool character, and they decided, okay, you know what? X-23 is not a good enough name. It's not a good enough character. She's going to become Wolverine, and I think that's really insulting to both Wolverine fans and X-23 fans. And then add injury to insult, they do the clone Honey Badger, who was basically taken off of some stupid meme video of a honey badger from a couple years ago. So I just find it really really lazy that they would kill Wolverine and then they would say, oh, you know what, X-23 isn't a good enough character by herself. We got to make her Wolverine. It's lame. I'm sick of it. I'm ready. You know, they're bringing Wolverine back, but I always say, was Wolverine ever gone? Because we wound up with Draken, X-23, Jimmy Hudson, Honey Badger. Was he ever really gone? We just had like Xerox photocopies of him running around the Marvel Universe, like 6 of them. Okay, so we get this, and she's trying to get her Trinary out of there, and she gets blasted, and all of a sudden Trinary just turns around and says, and basically hacks the Sentinel. If she could have done that all along, this is the thing about this fight, they ended it so abruptly. A, if she could have done that all along, why didn't she? And B, you couldn't come up with a better fight sequence and end it better than that. That's all you could do. I mean, this was between them and these weird people who were not vulnerable to Jean's telepathy. You had what could have been a really cool 3-way fight going on, because they were definitely not on the side of the Sentinels, and the Sentinel was its own entity, and then the X-Men are trying to get out of there. You could have had a really cool fight that actually could have taken up a lot more of this issue, and then we wouldn't wind up with all this burr 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 burr. Yeah, it's mediocre work, mediocre writing. And right here she talks about basically hacking it and rewriting. Okay, as a programmer, I'm a programmer. I'm a programming student. As a programmer, I find this really insulting, and it really pisses me off that she's just like, oh, I can just stand here and reprogram this thing, blah, 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 from a distance. Okay, so programming, coding is very simple, but very complex at the same time. Programs are modular, so they're these little things called methods. Well, sometimes methods are big. And they all stack together, and they all work off of what's called a main method. So when you build a program, you build a little bit, make sure it runs. Build a little bit more, make sure that runs. Build a little bit more, make sure that runs. It's simple, but it's complex because you have to get all these pieces to work together. But it's time consuming. So this woman, even though she's a mutant and, you know, she has some sort of ability with technology, that she can just snap her fingers and rewrite a Sentinel's coding to do whatever she wants is a bit insulting. Plus, this is a big piece of military hardware. I guarantee military hardware like drones and F-16s and things like that, I guarantee they are not written in Java or C#. These who McDonnell Douglas or Boeing or whoever makes it, the internal systems, I can guarantee you they have their own proprietary language that very few people know how to write in or how to read or how to code. And I can guarantee that code is also encrypted. That's a whole other thing, but that's it. That's my diatribe on this. That she can just wave her brain and rewrite coding to get this Sentinel to do whatever she wants just kind of ticks me off as a coder. But that's going down the rabbit hole of coding. I'm not going to bore you guys with that anyway. So just like this whole thing could have been cool, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't do the cool fight. What, is this show still going? Oh my god, I gave up after season 2. It just got boring. Plus, you know, Trinary, if she can do that, that's it. That's the end of the Sentinel threat. They would have to recall every Sentinel and do a whole other language, basically reprogram the Sentinels, because she can just take care of him. And then whatever language they do beyond that, she would just hack that. So you would have to go. I think during Civil War they were actually putting pilots inside of Sentinels. So Sentinels were kind of like these big mech suits, so they could be a little more controlled. And burr, 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 a bunch of talking, and then they go, Ermagerd, algorithms. So she's saying, okay, algorithms are basically causing everybody to hate mutants again. Talking about fake news, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You guys harping on that same stuff. So this is where they get Gambit into the thing. So they say this shaved side of the head, mutant. And once again, there's all those actual racists who were up in DC protesting months ago, and there was like maybe 200 of them. But the press, speaking of fake news, the press made that gathering out to be like 60,000 people when it was actually like maybe about 200 to 500, and then thousands of people there to film them and protest them. So that's what that really was. So she lands down in front of him, and I don't know if she was going to bring him a Pepsi or what, but you don't stand in front of a mob unless you're prepared to fight that entire mob. That was kind of dumb writing. And once again, she's completely not prepared to fight these guys who are obviously pissed off enough to gather up tiki torches and then march somewhere. And once again, this dude raises her hand and she's just cowering. The first dude who raises her hand, she's cowering. She was completely not prepared to fight these people. It was dumb. Just dumb writing. Enter Gambit. He stops it. Now, this is the low-T version of what Gambit should be doing. As soon as this dude went to hit her, Gambit should have dropped in. This is how you write this. This is how you write this scene. This scene would have been much better. No dialogue, no talking. Gambit comes in, he says one quippy line, and then proceeds to just start beating this entire mob. And then, once he's done beating the mob, he could have said, look, one mutant just beat all of you up without using his powers. If we were the problem, you would know it. You would already be on your knees. That's how you do that sequence. And you could have done a little longer. But they chose to take this stupid way, which the writer doesn't understand how tiki torches work. They're not magic. They're full of flammable liquid. Sometimes the liquid has citronella in it to keep bugs away. So they're full of flammable liquid. So he goes through and he's like charging all these things up, and then he stands somewhere else and blows them up. Well, doing that would basically be worse, because you would shower all these people with flammable liquid, basically just torching all of them. Then this one dude is like, I don't know why he was marching with a truck instead of marching with them. I don't know what was going on. All that. The moment this dude steps out with a gun, you take him down. Because having a gun, owning a gun, you're responsibly owning a gun, you're taught you do not pull that gun out unless you are going to use it. You don't pull it out as a threat. You don't pull it out as just showing off. If you're pulling out your gun, you intend to use it. If you aim it, you intend to use it. If you put your finger on the trigger, you intend to use it. And this is, yeah. So as soon as he stepped out with a gun, Gambit should have taken him down. Whatever. Storm shows up at the end and basically knocks him out of the sky. This is a dumb comic. We have, now in 2018, we have 3 X-Men books going, and they're all different levels of boring. X-Men Blue is just going through the motions, checking off bad guys and good guys. It's boring. X-Men Red doesn't really know where it's going. I mean, what happened to Jean's overarching plan for the world? It's kind of gotten lost. We haven't seen it. And then Gold is just preachy as all hell. This is dumb. Honeymoon's over, Tom Taylor. You suck. You can't write an exciting book. I haven't read anything exciting from you. So don't buy it. This one sucks. I'm done with X-Men Red. Thanks for watching. My name is Nerdicane. You hit me up here. You hit me up on Twitter. Thanks for 15 minutes. Have a good day.